He is a god of the game.
Not a great start for the league champions, not just in EPL. Which means Spurs is going to add one more zero to Kane's value. Whereas Manchester United waited till the first game to parade their star signing followed by a 5-star performance. Chelsea hit 3 without Lukaku and Salah proves why he is the king of Gameweek 1. Barcelona's life after Messi's breakup, Real Madrid's life after Bale's patch-up, and to round things up, can Indian cricket team convert their impressive performance to their third win at the home of cricket?
Absolutely world class.
34 goals scored, no draws, stadium full of fans. What a wonderful start to the new season. And not just football. While we are talking, an amazing game of test cricket going on in parallel. But before discussing all that, let's as usual welcome Ishan.
Hi guys, what a great match weekday we had in the Premier League as well as in the La Liga, and we're so excited to start talking about it and tell you guys about it.
Yes, so English Premier League game week 1 started with an upset where Brentford defeated Arsenal and ended with another upset where Spurs defeated City 1-0, which is where actually we'll start our current podcast. Now, Ishan, when you saw the scoreline 1-0, imagine that you didn't watch the game. Next day morning you open the mobile and check the score, Tottenham 1 and City 0. Wouldn't you have been surprised?
Yes and no. I think when you contextualize it, it was the first game of the season. There's still 37 games left. Yes, on paper it's an upset. Nobody expected Spurs to beat, Pep Guardiola's Man City. But as we were discussing yesterday, Pep's found it really hard to beat Tottenham in their new home stadium. In fact, I don't think he has won there. And this was Spurs without Harry Kane, who might be ending up at Man City. We never know. But you can call it an upset because the way the season has been going or built up for Tottenham, we expect them to really suck. But then they start off by beating the defending champions. In that regard, it's an upset. But I won't look too deep into this. It's because it's the first game of the season.
True. Son scored against City for 4 straight games in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and as you rightly pointed out, Pep hasn't won a single game against Tottenham in this new stadium. 4 games, 4 losses. And
Son has a nice analogy you can tell Pep. He said, "Son is your daddy."
Yeah, he can actually deliver it with his puppy face, with his nice boy face.
Yes.
All right, so that's not a great start to Manchester City, but their neighbors had a wonderful start. I mean, they, apart from not getting the clean sheet, I think nothing went wrong for United. Right from the moment Varane entered the stadium as a Manchester United player till the final whistle, absolutely everything went to the plan.
This season is looking really right for Man United after a really long time, and their marketing game was strong. I mean, it was such a smart decision to confirm Rafael Varane's signing just before kickoff, because that really had the 75,000 strong Old Trafford fans pumped, because it was in the limbo. We discussed it on our Thursday episode where we were not sure what's happening with Rafael Varane. And to actually get him onto the pitch with the jersey, that ovation was unbelievable. The atmosphere, by and large, at Old Trafford was electric. And what a performance by the team, man. Like Paul Pogba, 4 assists. Are you kidding me? What a performance. They looked so good. Like from minute 1 to minute 90, Man United looked the part. Like, Bruno Fernandes, for everyone who had him as triple captain on FPL, delivered. Paul Pogba, even bloody Fred scored, man. Fred doesn't score. What the hell? So amazing performance.
Pogba throughout the entire season had 3 assists. This one game he had 4 assists. See, I mean, we all knew this. I mean, it's not like a surprise that Paul Pogba performed really well. We have seen him do this for France. We have seen him do this at times for United. His only problem with United forever has been his consistency. He's not able to do this week after week, game after game. So Anyways, like keep all negative things aside. Like this is a great start. It's a great season to look forward to, and to have not Sancho start the game, he came in as a sub again, played really well. I mean, didn't have much to do, and obviously in another 1 or 2 weeks you're going to have Rafael Varane defending with Harry Maguire. I mean, there's only good things to look forward to for United. And as I said before, they have a very manageable start to the season, like slightly relatively easier fixtures. They are playing Southampton next. I think the only big team or kind of a big team I would say in the first 6-7 games will be West Ham.
Yeah.
Other than that, they don't have any major fixtures to look forward to. So great start for them. But also the other title contenders, Liverpool and Chelsea, also started their campaign in a great fashion. Liverpool defeated the championship champions Norwich 3-0 in their home ground at Carrow Road. Full control, and it was an absolute, like it was incredible to see Virgil van Dijk back producing a flawless performance. Agreed, Norwich wasn't really giving any great challenge to him, but Van Dijk was Van Dijk. He was fully in control. Apart from that one amazing triple save by Alisson, Liverpool pretty much controlled the game and they won the game pretty well. Whereas Chelsea, you saw the Chelsea Crystal Palace game. I couldn't catch it much. I saw the highlights though.
I saw the game, and I think just to quickly one point on the Liverpool game, Norwich historically has been Liverpool's favourite bakara. Like Luis Suarez has about 1,000 goals against Norwich from every corner of the field.
That famous goal from the middle of this thing was against Norwich. Yes,
he had a hat trick in like 12 minutes against Norwich, and he had like some 17 goals in 4 games against them, or some ridiculous stat. So Liverpool love playing Norwich. But yeah, coming back to the Chelsea game, Chelsea started off obviously with Timo Werner up front, and the moment I was seeing that, normally I'll be very honest, I don't watch Chelsea games because they generally are a very boring team to watch. But this year, I don't know why, I feel like under Tuchel, meaning under a proper season with Tuchel, they might actually be a little more attacking. And they were. Like, they were so solid. They were solid in midfield, they were solid in defense, but also going up front, other than, the final finishes, they were very good. I think it was very solid. I think if I have to give a rating for all the top contenders, I think Chelsea had the most solid game overall. And what a great goal to start off their season by Alonso. A sizzling free kick, top corner, amazing goal. And another great goal by a debutant, Chalobah, who was basically grown up at Chelsea, one of the few loan signings that has actually come back after 100,000 years. And he scored a wonder goal on his debut for Chelsea. Great for him. So things are looking up for Chelsea. Things are looking up for all the big teams, minus Man City. But Man City fans don't need to worry. They'll come back.
Yeah. One quick stat, like Salah scored in the opening game for the 5th consecutive season, which in itself is a record. He looked great. Liverpool front 3 or front 4 look great. So as you said, all the 4 strong contenders had a pretty good game. Now let's quickly run through the other results. Leicester City defeated Wolves 1-0. They had a great start. Jamie Vardy scored an unbelievable goal. Like, go and watch it if you haven't. It's a typical Jamie Vardy goal. Watford defeated Aston Villa 3-2. This was also maybe kind of an upset, you can say, but Aston Villa without Jack Grealish, it's a question how they will do. Surprisingly, Rafa Benitez at Everton started off with a win 3-1. Richarlison played this game. He played till the Copa America finals. He played till the Olympic finals, and he started this game too. And he scored a goal. I mean, he's having a great time. Calvert-Lewin scored. I really worry for Southampton this season. In fact, they are one of my 3 relegation candidates. I really don't see them doing well this season. Brighton defeated Burnley 2-1, and apparently the most interesting game of the weekend, Newcastle 2 West Ham 4. I was so surprised.
What a game. I saw the highlights and I was like, okay, Newcastle starting off really well in the first half, and then there was a horrible decision. The referee, I don't know went for a walk in the park. He forgot how to referee and made some really dubious calls with the penalty, especially. And then West Ham turned it around. Great result for them.
They're talking about refereeing decisions. Like, good that you brought it up. There were two goals that were allowed as a goal, but they were marginally offside, which the referees confirmed that those goals would have been deemed offside if it was the last season. So this season, the PGMOL made a lot of, I would say, interesting and welcoming decisions to cut through these, to remove all these like forensic analysis of a goal, like is it millimeter or nose poking aage, like hair strand poking aage. So hopefully we'll see more goals. So that was good to see. Again, EPL next game week begins on next Friday. So looking forward to that. We'll cover all the previews of the next game on Thursday. Ishan, any final points to cover before we move on to La Liga?
The transfer window is still not done. You might see some big transfers, especially, Man City. How much have they been triggered to need a center forward after that result? Because let's keep in mind, no goals in the Champions League final, no goals in the Community Shield, and no goals in the first game of the season. Yes, Pep Guardiola came back in his press conference, said we were the top goal scorers last season. So don't tell us we need a centre forward, but they need a centre forward. So there might be a big transfer coming up. We don't know, but let's see.
Now, moving on to our friends in Spain who were on MTV in India. I have to say it was actually okay. It wasn't bad, not as bad as Facebook, definitely better than that.
Yeah.
But the week started off with not so surprising results. I don't remember seeing any big upset. Real had a great start, won the game 4-1 against Alaves. And they started with their best lineup, barring Cruz. What did you think?
Yeah, and by the way, I thought I heard you say the La Liga was played on MD. And I was like, what the hell?
MTV.
I like, okay. Trippy Bala today. But no. No, I think the Madrid played a very strong squad. Yeah, you're right. Cruz was not there. I was actually expecting Vinicius to start over, say, a Hazard or Bale. But actually, the Bale, Benzema, Hazard trio worked pretty well. Bale actually had a really good game. In fact, when he started off strong, he looked fit, and that's what Pintus, our new physical coach, has done, which comes along with Ancelotti as always. The Real Madrid team looks really fit, like they are ready from day one, which is great to see. Hazard looks in great shape, probably the best he's ever looked, even including his Chelsea days. But it had to come down to Karim Benzema, our go-to man to score the goals. Great game. We had actually a pretty mediocre first half. Alaves were very strong. They should have scored a couple of goals. They had chances. But in the second half, I don't know what happened to them. They capitulated, and then, Madrid capitalized the moment you give them an opportunity. Alaba had his debut, first official match for Real Madrid, looked very solid. So I was pleasantly surprised by that result. I thought it's going to be a disaster from day one. So I'm very happy. But let's talk about Barcelona. Bala, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the club, which was in the news for all the wrong reasons, finally had something good going for them. Great start. Like, A, they were finally able to register all the players they wanted to. B, their future president and current messiah, PK, scored their first goal. And Depay had a wonderful game. Pedri, I don't know, man. I don't know how long this kid can keep playing. I really don't know. He played pretty much about 80-90 minutes. This game also, again, great start. Martin Braithwaite scored 2 goals. Again, Barcelona controlled the game right from the beginning. Defense looked okay. I mean, there were 2 goals which, apart from that 5-minute period where they lost a bit of focus, I think Barcelona pretty much won the game. And a couple of things that was a little endearing to see, that I thought there'll be a lot of backlash from the fans, but fans were actually very good. Like, they were actually cheering the team. Yes, at the 10th minute they chanted Messi, Messi, Messi. And when Memphis Depay was subbed on, they did Memphis. So, I mean, life after Messi. we'll have to get used to it, but it was good. It's a good start. Can't ask for anything more.
First half, Barcelona had, I think it's been the best first half I've seen Barcelona play in years, including when Messi was there. They were so good. The ball distribution from Depay, Alba, Griezmann was very fluid. They knew what they were doing. They almost had, it was a breath of fresh air in the Barcelona team, which was a great thing to see. The one player you didn't mention who had, I think, the best game was Martin Braithwaite. He had 2 goals, scored really good goals, proper centre forward goals. One with a booming header, and then the other one, he was in the right place at the right time. But I think it's a start that will give the fans and the Barcelona players a lot of confidence, because it's a tricky fixture. Real Sociedad has always been a tricky fixture for Barcelona, other than Celta Vigo probably. But they came out looking very good out of this result. So very good news, very good start for both the big clubs.
And Celta Vigo had their first game against the champions Atletico in their home. Now see, Celta Vigo away at Balaidos is always a very tricky fixture. I mean, traditionally it is a very tough place to go and play for any team, and Atleti had their issues. I mean, Atleti, as we all know, never win an easy game. They always have to make life difficult for themselves.
Yeah.
They defeated them.
Simeone's word, suffering.
Yeah, they always suffer. They defeated Celta Vigo 2-1, 2 goals from Angel Correa. So I thought, who had a wonderful game, and like many Atletico games, towards the end there was a big fight, 2 red cards. Celta Vigo player and an Atletico player both were shown red cards, and Atleti started their campaign with a win. Now moving on to other results, Sevilla started their campaign with a win, 3-0, a great victory. They played against Rayo Vallecano, who had their goalkeeper, Luka Zidane, sent off within the first 15-16 minutes of the game. And Eric Lamela scored 2 goals. Great start to his Sevilla career.
Yes, great goal. Sevilla is looking strong this season. Like, I think they're just waiting for these top 3 to crumble and wait for a chance. But they look strong every season. But it's another season with Lopetegui, who's a great manager, we all know. And I have good vibes coming from Sevilla this year.
They also had their other striker, Yusuf Al Nasri, who I think was supposed to leave them last season, but they did well to hold on to him. I mean, we still don't know. There's still 14 days to go.
Yeah.
But again, Sevilla, they always do this kind of business. They are very smart always. And this season, they are pretty much looking good to finish in the top 4. I didn't see the game. Did Papu play? I don't remember. I didn't see the game.
No, I didn't. I don't know. I didn't see it. Yeah.
All right, great. So that is it for La Liga. I mean, La Liga only had 8 games. The 2 games are happening tonight. So it's 11:30 p.m. and 1:30 a.m. Indian time. Again, as I said, it's on MTV, guys. For Tata Sky subscribers, 806 channel number. If you guys haven't even gone there for a while.
And if you're on an OTT, you can watch it on Voot.
Oh yeah, how's the experience on Voot? If you can, in a minute.
So there are 2 options there. You can have live broadcast, which is a bit glitchy, almost like Facebook Watch. And there's one which is regular streaming, which is I think has a minute and a half, 2 minute lag. But that's pretty good, much better than Facebook, very clear. So it's fine. Now I watched it on the 2 minute lag.
The German league, Bundesliga, started off with a slightly surprising result where Mönchengladbach drew their game against Bayern 1-1, but Dortmund exploded 5-2. Haaland.
Typical Borussia Dortmund. As I said in the previous podcast, they look like the best team in Germany until they play Bayern Munich. Erling Haaland, man, wow. That guy is just, meaning, I don't know, some people put him and Mbappe in that same level. I don't know, for me, Haaland has his growth map has just skyrocketed in the last 2 seasons. He's a beast. He's almost like an Ibrahimovic with a Ronaldo or a Messi-esque touch, which is ridiculous. So, wow, what a player.
He's a complete striker. He's tall, he's strong, he can run, he can dribble. So he has all the qualities. Scored 2 goals and an assist. An incredible start. And other surprising result was Mainz. If you guys remember, we spoke about this in the last episode where they had to bench at least pretty much their entire first team squad due to COVID reasons.
15 first squad players.
Yeah, see, 15 first squad players due to COVID restrictions, and yet they defeated RB Leipzig 1-0. I mean, Leipzig again, they are kind of starting a bit fresh. They lost both their defenders. They have a new striker. They have a new coach. So again, like how we gauge City versus Tottenham, one should not read too much into this result. And congratulate Mainz for winning their game 1-0. Any other interesting stuff happened in Bundesliga, Ishan, before we move on to the next?
No, I think the usual suspects won, Wolfsburg won, all the maybe not any shocking results. So yeah, we can move on.
Talking about German football, yesterday Germany and Bayern Munich footballing legend Gerd Müller passed away at the age of 75. One of the best strikers in the history of the game, arguably Germany's greatest ever footballer. I mean, not anywhere related to Thomas Müller, which I thought when I saw Thomas Müller first. I mean, his goal scoring records are incredible. Like, see how I knew Gerd Müller was. I am a bit of a football trivia nerd myself, so I used to read through all these goal scoring records. Like you will see Gerd Müller's name again and again if you look at any sort of goal scoring records. He scored 10 goals in a World Cup, in a single edition of a World Cup, man.
Yeah, he has more goals than games played for Germany. He scored in the World Cup final, which made West Germany win the World Cup. He has about 530 odd goals for Bayern Munich in about 600 odd games. So, like, he was a goal scoring machine. Obviously, I was not born to watch him. Bala was. Bala had actually seen Pele's debut, by the way, guys, if you didn't know. But no, what a big loss to world football, not just Germany. Meaning obviously Bayern Munich will be the most hardest hit because he's probably their greatest ever player. So yeah, my wishes go out to his family and Bayern Munich.
Let's take a break from football and talk about this great test match that's happening right now. I mean, as it stands, it's Monday, 16th August, 10:30 p.m. We're talking about the India versus England second test match at Lord's. It's day 5. There's still about 14 overs remaining and India need 3 wickets. England need about 160 runs. Nobody worries about that. Ishan, were you surprised? I was totally surprised with India today. I didn't expect this to happen.
So I don't know what I think it started off, and I was in office, so I was not watching the game, but it started off with when Bumrah and Shami started batting, and there was a certain streak of aggression that the English bowlers had against both of them, because obviously they are India's premier fast bowlers. They knew that 4th innings they're going to be batting in. But the way the Indians, those two batted, both Shami and Bumrah, I think completely deflated the English team, because they threw the kitchen sink, kitchen appliances, microwave oven, washing machine, dishwasher, everything at those two, and they somehow survived in their own unorthodox way. And getting a partnership of above 60, 65 or something, right? Bala, what was the partnership?
I'm just looking at it. I think it's about 80 plus.
80 plus. So
yeah, it was 89 runs unbeaten.
Unbelievable. And so I think England had started off the day with hoping for, say, a below 200 target, which would have been achievable by them, or mentally achievable. But then they ended up with almost 300, a little lesser than 300 to chase. I think that completely, burst their bubble, and they started off miserably. Like, if you see the wickets and, the first 4 wickets, such poor batting choices. And that's all gone.
Yeah.
That's all down to mental weakness. They just didn't have it in it for them. So I think kudos to the Indian team. I hope they bloody take these 3 wickets, and close out this game. What do you think, Bala?
Yeah, there's a bit of rearguard action going on. Joe Root and Ollie Robinson have stuck together for almost 8 overs now. They are able to negotiate the Indian bowlers. But I want to go back to the batting of Bumrah and Shami, because See,
Yeah.
when it started, it was all survival. Okay, stay there for another 5-6 overs, score about some 20-30 runs extra. Like, let's give them a respectable total for us to defend. But over a period of time, as they started batting, they started middling the ball so well. Shami started playing cover drives with follow through. Bumrah had a big fight with Mark Wood, James Anderson, and he started scoring. And at one point of time, they were like, "We're not going to get out. We are going to bat. Like, if we are allowed to bat, we'll bat the entire day." They would have done it. If this was his fourth day, they would have batted the end. It felt like they wanted to show the English team or someone, they wanted to prove someone that they can bat, and wow, boy, like they took the game away from England. And the way the Indian pace bowlers were bowling right now were brilliant, hitting the right length. Slip catching should be better. I mean, we should have wrapped up the game by now. Only if we held on to our catches, like we dropped I think 2 or 3 catches, quite easy ones. I mean, at this level, you need to take those catches. You can't leave them. But yeah, it's shaping out to be a great game. 13 overs more. Hopefully, as you said, we wrap it up and win the game. So great, guys. So that's about football. That's about cricket. Ishan, any other major sporting news that we can cover before we say goodbye to our listeners?
I think not much has happened in sports, at least in the sports we watch. It's all off season in the NBA. F1 is going to start now, coming up in a week. So the chatter, banter will all start now. So I think by our Thursday episode, we'll have more, tidbits from the others, world of sports. But yeah, I think it's currently, let's hope, just praying for India to win this game right now. That's all I care.
Yeah, just one quick transfer update, which I just remembered that Tammy Abraham, we were talking about Chalobah, who's Chelsea's academy player, came out of loan and scoring well, but then Chelsea had to balance it. So they let out another academy player, Tammy Abraham, to Roma for 40 million. Pretty good business, I have to say. So all the best for him and all the best.
It's a permanent transfer.
Permanent transfer. So he's going to he's going to Mourinho.
Mourinho is basically making Roma a Premier League club.
Yeah, they have Mkhitaryan, Pedro, all his ex-players are playing with him there.
Smalling.
Who else? There is one more player. There's definitely one more player I'm forgetting. Anyway, suck it. Sure. Awesome. Great.
But I think Bala, before we end this, I want to just, not sports related, I just want to give our prayers are with everyone in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
What's happening there.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the most important thing going on in the world right now. I hope whatever the shit show is going on, people are safe. It's really scary. So our prayers, both Bala's and mine, I speak for him as well, go out to everyone in Afghanistan.
All right, guys, that's about it. That's for this episode. We will come back to you on Thursday. I mean, we will record on Thursday. The episode will land either by Friday afternoon or by Friday evening. Until then, it is bye from Bala.
Bye from Ishan, guys. See you Thursday.
Thank you everyone for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, and also please, like we're literally begging, to rate our podcast on whichever app you're listening to. It not only helps us, but also new listeners to easily find our podcast. You can also reach out to us on Twitter @SportsCharcha. A big shout out to the Jam Room Audio for our theme music. You can follow the Jam Room on Facebook @the Jam Room Audio. Bye.